love the energy from our team. I thought there was a lot of good things to build upon. I thought it was, all in all, it was a really productive week for us. And, just something to build on and move forward, and really excited about our team, though.
Were you intending to play Clifford as much as you did, or did you want to just keep kind of rolling with him as the game went on?
Well, I think that he's a young player. He needs to play. And so that was kind of the intent going in. I didn't know how long. A lot of times with the quarterbacks, it's kind of a feel thing, and when to pull somebody and put the other guy in. And, I do love the fact that he had to battle through some adversity, throwing the 2 picks and then coming back and lead us on a 2-minute drive. And so I thought, just to see him not be fazed by those situations, I thought it showed something that you can't coach that. You can talk about it all you want, but that is intrinsic, and he possesses that. And just happy that he was able to battle through that and overcome it.
Think of Love tonight, the throws he hit, the throws he missed.
Yeah, I thought, all in all, I thought it was a good first performance, but it was very limited action, and I'm sure he would love to have the throw to Musgrave back. But I think there's a lot to learn from, and a lot of good came out of it. I thought just the poise he showed, the command he showed. I thought we were getting in and out of the huddle quickly. So I thought it was a really good first exposure for him for this season.
On the deep ball to Watson, it was on the money. Does he have to throw that? Can he throw that differently, or is that just a safety?
I think there's something to look at there in terms of just we've been talking to him a lot about putting more air on some of his go balls. I think I thought the safety got a pretty good jump on it. It appeared. It did look like an accurate ball, but it's what can he do to maybe hold that safety just another step so he can't make a play on the ball.
You obviously his health is the most important thing. Do you want to play him more in preseason, or is it like, hey, I got him a couple tonight and let's just put it down till week 1?
Oh no, I would anticipate him playing some more as well. Whether that's next week or whether that's for Seattle, I mean, we'll kind of see how the week goes, see how practices are going. We've got 2 big practices coming up against New England that are going to be really good for him, and we'll just kind of play it by ear.
What stood out about your defense and how they performed Wednesday against the Bengals, and did that play into the decisions in playing time tonight?
Well, we had kind of had an idea of what we wanted to get out of tonight in terms of how many snaps for. We knew we were going to let our starters go for a series. Held a couple people out, just was all precautionary, like Jair and Kenny, and obviously Rashawn's not quite there yet. But I thought it was a pretty good performance. I think there's a lot to clean up on in terms of. One thing that is evident, you give up big plays in this league, you're going to give up points. But I was proud of the fact that, we rallied and we kept them out of the end zone and just gave up the field goals.
Emmanuel Wilson really flashed in the second half. What has he done this camp to really kind of catch your eye?
Yeah, I mean, that was by far the best I would say he's looked. Anytime you rip off an 80-yarder, that's a pretty good deal. And he had 2 touchdowns, one on one of the counter plays that we ran. And but it was a big night for him. I know 14 years ago he lost his father, and so I was really happy for him. Come out first, his debut, and rips off over 100 yards and 2 touchdowns.
About collective so often, how valuable is it to have all these different young guys with successful nights like this? Can they build off that, and what does that do for the team?
I think confidence is huge. I mean, whether it's in football or in life, and anytime you go out there and you perform well, it definitely gives you confidence. I thought there were a lot of great young players out there, whether it was Wicks or Heath or Valentine. A lot of guys got in there and did a really nice job.
How about Valentine?
Yeah, I was going to say, what is it about Valentine? I mean, a young 7th-round pick. What is it about him that
Well, I think he's got the skill set that you look for. He's athletic, he's long, and he competes. He's not afraid, and I love that about him. He's got a great demeanor. I think he is extremely coachable. I think he's been working really hard, and quite frankly, from the moment we've gotten him, he's had a great attitude, comes in to work each and every day, and you saw it early on, and you continue to see it. The guy he shows up in practice, and he makes plays, and he competes, and so really excited about what he could turn into and develop into. But it's only one game. He's got to realize that. All these guys do. It's only one game. You got to go out and do it consistently. So, and that starts by your practice habits, and hopefully that translates to the field on game day.
The whole week here, a lot of positive reinforcement, obviously a lot of teaching material as well, but just what do you think this does for a young team to have that kind of positive reinforcement after the...
Yeah, I think it just gives us a shot in the arm, in terms of training camp can get very long, and it can get pretty monotonous, doing the same thing. It's like rinse, wash, repeat, So it was good to break up that monotony coming on the road, gave us a chance to really bond. We had the team dinner. We had a team function last night where we brought in Oz Perlman, which was a pretty cool experience. So I thought all in all, there was a lot of good that came out of this. And then competing against a really good football team in practice. And I know they didn't play their starters tonight, but I thought, there was great energy throughout the course of the trip, which gets us excited as coaches. And you want to be around guys that love the game and that love to compete and want to get better. And I think we got a bunch of guys in that locker room that want that.
Is there any concern over some of the injuries from tonight?
Yeah, unfortunately, Tyler Davis, that's going to be a pretty significant injury. Not quite sure what the word is on Tenuta yet, and Caleb Jones. So, but TD, my heart hurts for him. He's been a key contributor to our success over the last couple of years, and whether it's on teams or carving out a role in our offense. And he's the consummate professional. He's a great teammate, just a great human, and we're gonna miss him.
Thinking about Carlson at this point, the two missed extra points tonight.
I don't want to look too far into it. It's one game, but as long as you learn from it and get better and make the necessary adjustments, then a lot of times you come back stronger from it.
Did Joe Barry work?
Speaking of that, what did Clifford see on the one that was returned for a touchdown? Did he misread the coverage? Or did
That was a pretty good disguise. The safety dropped down, and he also had pressure in his face, which that makes it a pretty difficult play. I'd rather see him obviously take the sack than throw a pick six, but I think that's something that he'll learn from. He's a smart guy, and those mistakes are only fatal if you don't learn from them. And we're running a shallow cross concept, and all I told him was you got to see out in front of the receiver, and you see color there, you can't throw it. I'd rather you take the sack. But he showed no fear in the pocket and was able to throw the ball. He just made a bad decision.
Did Joe work upstairs tonight, Joe Barry?
He did.
Just trying something out, or is that for preseason?
Yeah, no, I just know from my own experience of being up there and being a play caller, I think it's a much less emotional environment up there, and you can see everything at a much better vantage point. So I just wanted him to experience that and try it out, and then we'll kind of reconvene and talk about it. But I thought, all in all, he was doing a good job getting the play calls in.
You mentioned they didn't play a lot of their starters, the Bengals. What kind of test do you think this really was for your offense and your two quarterbacks?
Yeah, I think anytime you go out there and you compete against anybody in the National Football League, it's out there for everybody to see, and you got to perform. So I think it's good for us, especially having a bunch of young guys, specifically more so on the offense side of the ball. But there's also a lot of young guys on the defense side of the ball that are going to have to contribute for us. So it's good for the guys to kind of go through a pregame routine, get their process right, so to get their mind right to go out and play football. So I don't really care who's playing, who's not playing. It's more about us and going through that experience and making sure that our process is right on.
What are you doing at center? You haven't played Runyon a ton at center up until this point. It's stayed pretty much at right guard. Are you really trying to push the competition at that spot?
Well, that was more or less just trying to, you got to have guys ready to go in case, something bad happens. So just wanted to get them some game reps in there at center.